Now on CoastTV News.
Circle safety, how Georgetown plans to protect the heart of town from car crashes.
Recruiting police officers not as easy as it used to be. The changes Millsboro police made to attract new recruits.
And looking at the numbers, how hotels performed in Ocean City in 2025.
And we're bracing for a chance of wintry weather Wednesday going into Thursday. We got a mix happening here, and we're not talking about music. You understand what I'm saying?
This is CoastTV News at 5.
These protective pillars around Georgetown Circle could be getting an upgrade. Good evening. I'm Christina DeRobertis in for Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. We begin tonight in Georgetown, where Town Council could decide whether to add new safety features on the circle tonight.
The goal here, we're told, is to make the circle safer while also maintaining its historic character. Coast TV reporter Ana Sofia Roman is live in Georgetown on the circle. Ana Sofia, we are expecting a vote tonight.
Christina, let me show you right here. This is how the current pillars look like. You might remember in the past there have been several crashes that have resulted in significant damages to the protection itself, fire hydrants, and even fallen officer memorials. More protective pillars around Georgetown Circle are in the works. Town Council is expected to consider a $26,000 proposal from the town engineer for the design and permitting of more protection during Monday's Town Council meeting. Georgetown Town Manager Jim Dvornik says it's all about improving safety.
After we had several crashes into the circle, we had a circle advisory committee that was formed, and one of their recommendations was to come up with a better solution, so we worked with a landscape architect who did a conceptual design.
The town hopes to have the design and have it out to bid within the next 6 to 8 months. Charlie Koski, who owns a business right on the circle and is part of the Georgetown Circle Advisory Committee, is hopeful about the change.
I've witnessed during the day someone almost enter the circle. They hit the curb and then backed up and then took off. So it's not only happening at night, but it can happen during the day. And the bollards are there really for public safety.
Dvornik adds, once the new safety protections are installed, Chief Harvey Gregg and Officer Chad Spicer monuments will come back.
I'd rather have this safety and security around the perimeter and then put the monuments back than to do the reverse, put them back and then have something catastrophic happen.
The town hopes to start the work in the fall and have it done by the end of the year. Georgetown Town Council meeting is scheduled for tonight at 6:30 p.m. following the public hearing. Live in Georgetown, Ana Sofia Roman, back to you.
Thank you, Ana Sofia. Now, other recommendations from the Georgetown Circle Advisory Committee include replacing the one-way signs with black and white reflective signs at all entrances to the circle. Also, they're recommending a roundabout ahead warning sign and a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit sign.
Police shortages, that's a thing that's happening nationwide and right here in Delaware. Millsboro police say they need officers, and they made changes to some policies in an attempt to try to attract them. Officers are now allowed to display armed sleeve tattoos, and protective vests can be worn on the outside of uniforms to improve comfort. One officer told Coast TV News off camera that these changes played a role in choosing to work in Millsboro. For Sergeant Jonathan Zubrowski, he says fewer people are applying now than when he joined the force.
Throughout my whole career, I feel like it has been a shortage. When I first applied, there were a lot more people applying, and it was more of a difficult pool to get selected. As of now, I can see the numbers have dropped.
Millsboro police say calls are still being answered, but having more police officers would allow for increased community policing. They say recruiting efforts, those are still ongoing. And it brings us right into our Coast TV poll for the night. We want to know which change helps the most with recruitment.
Let's see what you all think so far. Looks like most people, 84% say pay/benefits, 12% schedule flexibility, only 1% say uniform comfort. I think that's important.
It's got to be out there running around, got to be comfortable. If you haven't voted yet, you can still go do that. Maybe Christina will go do it right now.
I think I will.
You can do it at coasttvnews.com or use our mobile app.
Well, vacationers from across the country make their way to Ocean City each and every summer. Today, we have new numbers that show how local hotels in Ocean City fared last year. CoastTV reporter Kevin Zappe is live in Ocean City in one of those hotels. Kevin, not a bad office today.
Christina, we're in the Residence Inn Hotel here in Ocean City. After speaking with the general manager, he said the hotel saw a 2.5% increase when compared to 2024. We then went to the Hotel Motel Restaurant Association to get a broader look at how hotels performed across town. According to Susan Jones, the director for the Hotel Motel Restaurant Association, hotels in Ocean City made a 1.3% profit in revenue per room compared to last year, but it wasn't all sunshine and lollipops. Overall hotel occupancy in Ocean City actually dropped by 0.2%. Jones says in a time of endless options for vacation dollars, Ocean City is doing everything it can to keep big crowds coming in.
It's very easy to hop on a plane, to get on a cruise ship, so we are no longer just competing with the traditional beach towns that we used to compete with. We are competing with everything all over the country, all over the nation, all over the world.
According to Jones, weather also plays a major role with Ocean City's success. A little rain could steer those vacationers away along with their wallets. I'm Kevin Zappe, live in Ocean City, CoastTV News.
Happening today in Ocean City, a public forum about a proposed wind farm off the OC coast. It's very important to note the forum is organized by opponents to the U.S. wind project. It begins at 5:30 at the Roland E. Powell Convention Center.
We're taking a live look into Ocean View. Let's check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams, here on a Monday. Paul, what's the weather look like?
Well, you know what, Charlie, we're going to be trending downward as far as the temperatures are concerned for this week, and it's going to set the stage for the possibility of a wintry mix after Wednesday. But as of right now in Cambridge, right now we're holding at 40 degrees at this point, and we're going to drop to 37 with mostly clear skies, and we're going to stay pretty clear throughout the entire Delmarva Peninsula just to start off the work week. We're holding at 43 in Redden, 41 in Laurel, Seaford, and Georgetown, 44 right now in Lewis. Taking a gander at what's happening, you can see over towards Cambridge, we're looking clear along Highway 343, and then we're looking pretty clear for us near Jacksonville Road, Chrisfield, and Johnson Creek Road, and then overall the peninsula is staying relatively clear as we brace for what's happening with the trough just to our northwest. It's going to bring in some additional cloud cover and begin to set the stage for the possibility of some snow, possibly. Now, Tuesday we become cloudier, but it's Wednesday going into right here. Thursday morning, 5:30 in the morning. That's what we need to talk about when you join me again for the weather segment a little bit later in the newscast.
President Trump facing controversy at home and possible military action overseas. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says the independence of the Fed is on the line after federal agents served subpoenas on the central bank and threatened a criminal indictment.
The Justice Department says it's investigating the Fed's renovation. Powell says it's about the president's desire to control the bank. And as NBC's Melanie Zanona reports, while in Iran, Trump says he's ready to retaliate if that country's leaders fire on anti-government demonstrators.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell speaking out on the Justice Department's threat of a criminal indictment into the renovation of the central bank's office buildings. He claims the subpoenas have nothing to do with the makeover, but rather just President Trump's latest way to try to control the Fed's decisions on interest rates.
The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president.
Powell said the DOJ served the Fed with subpoenas on Friday. But the president has been unhappy with Powell since before he took office, wanting deeper interest rate cuts. He's routinely attacked Powell and board members. In an exclusive interview with NBC News, the president denied any knowledge of the investigation and said he wouldn't think of using a legal inquiry to pressure Powell.
If the investigation is warranted, then they have to play that out. We'll see what happens. The allegation is serious, so we'll see.
Democrats say this is a power play.
Trump is trying to push out the chairman of the Federal Reserve Board and complete his corrupt takeover of America's central bank.
Republicans also unhappy with the DOJ investigation. Senator Lisa Murkowski calling it an attempt at coercion And Senator Tom Tillis, who's on the banking committee, says he will oppose the confirmation of any nominee for the Fed, including the upcoming Fed chair vacancy, until this matter is fully resolved. As one domestic battle ramps up, the president also keeping an eye on the escalating violence in Iran. Trump threatening to attack if the Iranian government opens fire on anti-government protesters.
We're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination.
Iran says it's willing to negotiate, but if the U.S. does strike, U.S. military bases and ships could be targeted.
If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before.
And now turning back to that DOJ investigation into the Federal Reserve, it's not just Republicans who are speaking out. Every single living former Fed chair signed a statement calling those subpoenas an unprecedented attempt to undermine the independence of the central bank. Melanie Zanona, NBC News, Washington.
The beloved founder of Browseabout Books has passed away, the legacy he leaves behind.
We could be in store for a bit of a wintry mix towards the end of the work week. We'll talk about the timing of it coming up.
But first, home-based businesses up for discussion in Lewis again. What time City Council meets tonight? That's next.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
Tonight in Lewis, the City Council once again taking up the ordinance that regulates in-home businesses. According to the agenda for tonight's meeting, the council will discuss possibly rescinding an ordinance, which in turn will allow for those types of businesses. It was several years ago that an at-home dog grooming business started the review. The City Council meets tonight at 5:30.
Milford City Council could decide on a proposed fire department expansion tonight. That comes after the city's Planning and Zoning Commission approved Carlisle Fire Company's plans for a substation.
It would be located at a current storage building on Cedar Beach Road, but it does require a conditional use approval. Fire officials say rapid growth in the city is driving the need for faster emergency response times. A public hearing and potential decision are planned for 6 tonight in Milford. Coming up next, Paul Williams is in our Coast TV First Alert Weather Center. He's got your full forecast right after this.
This week, we are pretty much preparing for the possibility of snow after Wednesday. And that's pretty much the theme of the forecast for this week. And meanwhile, the underlying motif is temperature's going to continue to get colder and colder and colder. In Rehoboth, 42 degrees. Dew point temperature, 26. Winds at about 3 miles per hour. And we'll drop to 36 by 9 o'clock with mainly clear skies. We'll see a few scattered clouds between 6 and 7 o'clock, but mainly staying clear. Overall, here comes the chill. 39, Long Neck, as well as Harrington, Bridgeville, Laurel, Delmar, as well as Willards and Ocean Pines, and 38 degrees right now in Salisbury. Our high today, a little bit below the mark, but barely, just ever so slightly below the mark, 44 with 45 being the normal high for this time of the year, and really the low just barely off the mark as well, a little bit, a skosh above, while the other one is a skosh below. Taking a look at our live radar, we're looking pretty clear. I mean, precipitation not an issue. Even the cloud cover staying limited for right now. We do have a trough that's developing just to our west. That's going to drag a little cloud cover our way to kind of set the stage for some changes. Let's talk temperatures. Now, temperatures will be cold enough for a hard freeze for tomorrow, but that's really not what I'm focusing on. Really, the cold really kicks in Thursday going into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's when the real cold kicks in. Not that fugazi cold, but that real cold, okay? We're looking for a high of about 50 for tomorrow, so it's not so bad, to be honest. 48 and some sunshine in Cambridge, for example, and 53 in Berlin as well as Ocean City. I don't consider tomorrow a big problem. Now, for those of us, me included, who have the wonderful ability to predict the rain with our arthritis, Wednesday going into Thursday, that's when our achy forecast will kick in. Yeah, Thursday night going into Wednesday night going into Thursday morning, that's going to be our zone. We're going to be in the yellow zone sort of recovering because of the precipitation that's headed our way, but that's when it's going to ache a little bit more, and that's based on the barometric pressure in our neck of the woods. We'll start off at 32 in the morning time, 53 for Tuesday afternoon. Then for Wednesday, it becomes a little bit cloudier, and then it sets the stage for the possibility of a little bit of snow. Now, the winds are going to really kick in for Thursday afternoon. That's when we're looking for that storm system to begin to make its move towards us, and the winds will pick up momentum sort of as an early warning signal as to here comes with change in the forecast. You see, as we take a look at Wednesday, we're looking for widespread scattered showers or precipitation for Wednesday on one model. The other model, and this is the one where I'm going, I'm looking at it with a side eye and both glasses, okay? Because here we go. Wednesday, rain, but then Thursday morning at about 5:30, we got rain over our neck of the woods, but snow coming on the other side of the peninsula, and that little pink line dividing right between us, and then that snow shifts on us by Thursday at 9:30. We're going to keep a close eye on this all week long to see if that comes into fruition properly. That being said, here's a look at your extended forecast. Oh yeah, and that cold for Thursday and Friday, that's stepping in full with both legs and both feet.
All right, thank you, Paul. New tonight, Steve Crane, the beloved founder of Browse About Books and a cornerstone of downtown Rehoboth Beach for nearly 5 decades, has passed away, according to a statement from the bookstore shared on social media. The tribute described him as a big man with big ideas, big opinions, big laughs, big feelings, and a big heart that he often wore on his sleeve.
He opened Browse About in 1975. He helped transform the independent bookstore into a Rehoboth Beach institution. Over the years, the shop became a local landmark not just for books, but as a hub for community gatherings, author events, and local culture.
A highlight that you just saw on your screen was the summer of 2018 when Joe Biden surprised NBC's Hoda Kotb at the book signing held in the store.
Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 6, Colonel Richardson takes on Cambridge South Dorchester in boys basketball. Then catch the final score at 10:30. And you can watch the game we just mentioned on DSN Plus, along with these exclusives. It's boys basketball in the Bayside Conference at 5:30 when Parkside faces Pocomoke, and Y-High hosting Mardella. At 6:30 p.m., Sussex Central battles Nandua in girls basketball. Coming up, a case of bird flu is detected in Delaware. The precautions farmers are being urged to take. Stay tuned on CoastTV News at 5. A positive case of bird flu was detected in Kent County, Delaware over the weekend, and leaders say farmers are on high alert. Timing couldn't be better or worse. Delaware Agriculture Week kicked off today with the first session fittingly focused on the state's poultry industry. Dozens of farmers gathered to learn about the virus, how to prevent it, and why understanding its impact is oh so important. Leaders are urging Delmarva farmers to take precautions like foot baths, sanitizing, and dedicated footwear to protect poultry and keep one of the region's leading industries safe.
If you traveled on the Northeast Regional Amtrak or Baltimore Airport shuttles last week, you'll want to listen up here. Maryland's Department of Health says someone with a confirmed case of measles was traveling those routes while they were infectious. That was late January 7th until early January 8th. If you were on the train from Philadelphia to D.C. or on the BWI shuttles during that time, you could be at risk. Officials say you should check your vaccination status and watch for symptoms like fever, cough, or a rash, and call your doctor before going out in public.
On your screen now is where DelDOT says nightly closures are going to go in place in Milford. The closures will run from tonight through mid-February for bridge painting. Closures get underway from 9 p.m. through 6 a.m.
Now we're looking live outside into Lewis, and we have one more check on the forecast for you right after this.
Take a look at what's happening right now. We're looking at 38 degrees, for example, in Salisbury, and dew point temperature of 24. Now, keep in mind that we're watching out for the temperatures to tank throughout this week to set the stage for a little snow. Now, by the way, keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. The number to call is 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Bruxted, Mandalis, and Federico. We update that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, by the way. Now, I could actually put cold twice, but that would be a little bit redundant. We're looking for the cold. I put this on the 7-day. Cold was here. But then I want to also emphasize that even after that, another stretch of really cold weather is happening after that. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen. The real winter weather has indeed arrived.
Cold, cold, and more cold. Thanks, Paul, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 5.
I'm shivering already. For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.